Scott.
Hello.
We are doing your favorite route today. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah, so we are right outside my house, and
Yep.
I always run at lunchtime while working from home. So I don't go anywhere fancy. It is always this, it's like a quarter mile exactly. In fact, we're walking directly to the quarter mile mark, which is the second white mailbox here. And I do 6 out and backs for a 5K. And if you live halfway through, you get to see me run by 12 times at noon every day. All right,
Amazing.
you ready? You got your watch going?
Let me get my watch here.
And you might be able to see in the background now, there's a giant hill back here, which is why I don't do that part of the street. I do the flattest part I can.
You got a little uphill though.
Yeah, oh
here.
no, it's not completely flat. You ready?
Yep, let's do it.
All right.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I
yeah.
actually used to do the hill until getting frequently injured. So I was like, well, I'll do the flattest part. And I should reintroduce it because I'm not injured, but it's not. It's really hard to convince myself to run the hill. I'm Scott, live here in Granville. I am a computer programmer for Safelight, and I've been running for 3 years now, I think, all getting started with the local run club.
Awesome. Yeah, so tell me a little bit how you got started running. You mentioned the run club. Did you just hear about it?
Yeah, so the, I guess, leader, organizer of the run club was a friend of mine, and I had never run in my life outside of punishment for sports. So he misled me and said that it was a really easygoing group. And he said like people were walking and rucking, and I showed up that first time. I think I was in like Adidas canvas shoes.
Okay.
And the leader, AO, looked at me once, and I think it was the next time he had new shoes for me, but I think I ran my first 5K in 45 minutes, which is great.
Yeah.
Lots of walking included in that, and one of the members asked if I stopped for food when getting back. So,
no.
But there was something nice.
You went back after that?
Yeah, well, and I'm sure many run clubs are full of passionate runners. One thing that was nice is being so firmly in the back of the pack. There was just no pressure. I could only get better against myself compared to other people. Though I will say, maybe a year and a half in, everyone decided to go real easy.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll do
a little.
Yeah. Or
how's the turnaround work?
yeah, I'm not used. So there's our quarter mile.
All right.
11 more times.
11 more to go.
Not that I count every single time. Like, I don't know, a year and a half in, I did finish first at Run Club because everyone agreed to go easy that day. Mm-hmm. And I ran as hard as I possibly could. So that's the feather in my cap from Run Club.
Awesome.
But running's been great. I don't know if I love it while I'm doing it, but it has been a habit now for those 3-4 years. And really is something that even if I don't want to run on an individual day, everything's better if I am running regularly.
A lot of people can attest to like getting out the door, like even if you don't feel like it, the consistency of it just makes you feel so much better.
Yeah.
In every other aspect of your life.
I do kind of feel like it's smoking cigarettes. It's not that smoking a cigarette calms you down, it's that once you start, if you don't do it, you get upset. Mm-hmm. It's not really that bad, but still.
Yeah. Yep.
A lot of the runners, once I started going longer distances, slow longer distances, those are the runs that I truly do enjoy and look forward to.
Nice. What is your like highest mileage that you've gotten up to for a single run?
So I was training for a half marathon, not even a huge organized one, just the local run club.
Yep.
You ran it at your own time. So, I mean, honestly, when I started, a 5K felt like an absurd distance to run, and a full marathon still feels that way to me. But
Yep.
finally, the half marathon was in my sights. Started training for that, and eventually got up to, I think I ran 12 miles one day, a few weeks before the half. And actually, as we come back to the big hill, I knew there were going to be hills. Oh, wrong side here.
You're good.
I knew there were going to be hills in the half marathon, so I started just running like nothing but hills, and ended up hurting my hip flexor. So I still have not hit that half marathon mark, but my longest run was the 12 miles, and I even joked how I ought to just do the one more and get it out of the way. So I'm committed to getting back and accomplishing the half, but I've been back into it for, man, it feels like 1 or 2 months.
Yeah.
And I'm nowhere near where I was, so.
So when you hurt your hip flexor,
Yeah.
what did you do to, like, were you just resting it?
So I feel like getting started running in my mid-30s, I have tons of weakness in places that I just never thought about. So
Right.
my entire running career thus far has been maybe a injury every 6 months. I say injury with air quotes because I've never damaged anything. It's always maybe pulling a muscle or
Right.
just something that when I try to run through it, it gets worse. So the hip flexor was definitely something that I probably could have gotten over more quickly, but training for the half, it just kind of hurt at first. So I kept going, and then eventually the day after a run, I just could barely move. So
Yep.
I actually went to sports medicine doctor, did a round of steroids,
Oh.
and it still, I mean, it did not get better. So I took maybe, I don't even know, 3 weeks off, and then just started coming back. And it would still hurt, but I stopped as soon as it hurt. So there were a few
Right.
half-mile run days
Yep.
there, which are very disappointing. But really taking it completely easy. Say hello to the neighbors who are all either very sick of me or very used to
This route.
seeing me on this route. Yeah. Taking time off was the biggest because of other injuries I've had. I knew like hip strengthening stuff, so I've really leaned into that heavily.
Yep.
And that's another thing. It's so frustrating to spend any amount of times before a run getting ready to run, but
Right.
doing those steamboats and other exercise band stuff
Yep.
truly makes the difference.
For sure. Yeah, it's hard when you're like already committing the time to go for your run,
Oh yeah.
and you probably already have like a pretty short window, and then you've got to be like, well, I got to prep my body to do this so I don't get injured again.
Yeah, I tell myself that it's, you know, only an hour of running, but especially if you're driving to where you need to go,
Right.
tack 20 minutes on plus stretching. And
Yep.
another reason that this route is my go-to.
Yep.
I can start lunch, be back in time to actually eat, and
Yeah.
not actually miss any work time.
Right.
I don't know if you can see, this is the goat yard. Lots of
we're gonna have
zinnias.
to go say hi
Absolutely, we
afterwards.
can get better video of them. We've got 2 goats, I think 7 chickens currently.
Okay.
With the hawks, it's hard to keep track of your current chicken count.
Yep.
And a cat and a dog. I think that's my full.
That's the full animal roster.
Yeah. The Kiener Zoo.
So let's talk about GRC. GRC is Granville Running Club, which a lot of us in these early episodes are going to be a part of. Talk to me about why you like GRC, and like you practically lead the Saturday morning runs. So yeah, just talk to me about.
For sure.
That.
It's odd leading these Saturday runs because one of the things I like about Run Club is kind of scheduled appearances will actually stress me out. Whereas Run Club, you know, there are 40 people showing up. If you show up, great, people are happy. But if I'm having any sort of social anxiety, you can pull the plug last minute and no one's upset with you. And really, that has made it so I never miss any days because it's so low stress. And another thing I like about it is this is the only run club I've ever been a part of, but it is a wildly supportive group. Just tons of different types of people, but whether it's runners or the pre-existing vibe of the group, nobody is ever, not even mean about running, but just incredibly welcoming. So I interact with a ton of people that normally, not by choice, just our paths would never cross. So I've met a lot of people, both in the Granville community and further out, that, I mean, are really some of my best friends now. And that has been great. I don't know if I could have stuck with running as long as I have without having the group aspect. It's so easy to fall out of a habit, especially with injuries.
Right.
Now, I have fallen out of the habit by necessity, and having Run Club to go back to is just such a motivator. And, you know, like, so the first time I showed up, I was in like past knee length athletic shorts, probably a cotton t-shirt, and I mean, essentially Chuck Taylors. So I truly thought, you know, there was no more to running than literally running. And I have learned so much, most importantly, the value of shoes. Maybe the last time I ran, when I was in my teens, it didn't matter, but many of my injuries, while not being fixed, have been helped and avoided by kind of changing my shoes up.
Yep.
So if anyone is considering running, I definitely would recommend, I mean, you don't even have to do anything special. It seems like most running stores have people who can fit you. Well worth it.
Yep.
It feels like a lot of money up front, but, and I thought running was free. That is not true.
It's a myth.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's still cheaper than anything else, and
Yep.
most importantly, counter to the thing I said about Run Club and being surrounded by people, it is something you can do on your own. And that, I mean, you know, just for days like today, where
Yep.
I do not have to get a group of people to play. I mean, even one other person for tennis or something.
Right.
So running's been great. It oddly enough has made me feel more fragile with all the injuries. when I think of like soccer.
Yeah.
Just like, man, I hurt myself running in a straight line. But that's not true. Like, I definitely feel better after running for a few years.
Talked about like wanting to go, like your goal of like reaching the half marathon distance. Do you have like, are you gonna like wait for the next GRC half, or what are you thinking about?
So I learned my lesson. Next time I'm at 12 miles, I'm running a half marathon, whether or not it's anything official.
Gotcha.
So I'm really just working back up to it. Truly, the humility I've gained after taking that break, and I ran 6 miles on Saturday, which is the longest since coming back, and not only exhausted, but like all of those aches that I only got rid of by slowly increasing distance and being consistent, they're back. So I was really, I was envisioning 2-3 months and being back, and it's just not happening. So this stupid hill is becoming more of a noticeable part of our run. Goal that has slowly been imposed upon me is I'd love to run for a year straight without taking a break due to injury. So my current list is explicit content warning. So the first break was butthole surgery. That was unrelated to running, but that was a pretty big gap in running. And so,
do you recommend that if you can do it, or?
It was absolutely life-changing. So well worth it, but it's not something that anyone really, I don't know, nobody talks about anything like that.
Right.
So you usually assume everything going on with you is normal and everyone's going through it. I will say my PSA is, if any GI stuff doesn't feel completely fine, go talk to a doctor. It was a relatively simple fix despite being surgical. And the real problem was basically I could move around, but I spent most of my day laying down for a couple of months. And
that has to be super hard.
And so I came back, that was right after I started running, maybe 6 months in, and I just went as hard as I could because I missed it already. It was cool actually wanting to exercise. And I immediately messed up my IT band. And that was from essentially atrophied hip muscles from not moving for a couple of months.
Makes sense.
That was IT band. That took me a while to come back from. Then I want to say my next was Achilles pain that turned into plantar fasciitis. That's another that, if I had listened to the signs earlier, I think I could have reduced my downtime. And Achilles pain's one thing. Plantar fasciitis, that was debilitating. So came back from that, and then I was good. But I feel all runners tend to be working towards a newer, bigger thing. So I probably was nearly a year in and feeling good going those nearly half marathon distances. And just was overconfident, started doing every run in the bioreserve, which is all hills, and stressed the hip flexor. So I'm lucky that I've not had any, again, injury that required surgery. Even no minor tears or anything. But that being said,
it's just Go ahead.
Well, it'll be perfect. I'll let you talk up the hill, but the value in resting, especially, I don't know if it's my age or inexperience, but
Yeah.
not just running until your body forces you to quit.
Right.
Maybe taking a week off
Yep.
every other month. I don't know. So my goal is, more so than even distance, is to just not have to take these breaks. But so many people running, you get injured,
Right.
and that's just how it goes. So
Yep. Yeah, I think one of the things that constantly comes up with a lot of runners is injury, and it's all sorts of injuries. And one of the things is it doesn't take a lot to go run, but it's a full body experience, and you're just like weak in a lot of areas that you don't really think about when you're just stationary, until you start just doing that repetitive motion over and over again, and then something starts nagging.
absolutely, and core strength is something I underestimated the value of as well. So I was doing like sit-ups and push-ups, but going to PT, they said you can be plenty strong but not have that stability.
Right.
So, planks, dead bugs,
Yep.
some of the more tedious ones, just keeping your core strong and stable seems
Right.
immensely important.
Yep.
We're on our final quarter-mile loop here.
Yay.
I have to say, it's far less tedious with a running buddy. Normally, I could tell you at any moment which lap I was on, but this kind of snuck up on me.
Not today.
Yeah.
Have you played around with any like nutrition or anything when you're running? Yeah.
So I do feel that my neglect of nutrition probably has something to do with my injuries. I know some of the more serious runners at Run Club will tell stories about obvious correlation between bad nutrition and injury. Hydration is something that I paid a lot of attention to even before running. So I try to do around a gallon of water a day,
Dang.
which,
That's awesome.
yeah, I think even for my weight, the top, you shouldn't drink more than that. I know it can be
Right.
dangerous flushing everything, but I really depend on activity to take care of any nutrition. So I look more at calories in and calories out than exactly the quality of what I'm eating. Though I will say, when it's family meals, I'm a hypocrite and those are always healthy. So when the kids are in bed, that I start eating all the garbage in the house.
Yep.
So nutrition's not terrible, it's just
Yeah.
if I really wanted to kind of take my running to a more serious level,
Yeah.
I think paying attention to what nutrients I was eating would be important.
Right. All right. So we're done at the mailbox?
You'll have to hit that mailbox.
All right. We're
I've got every
almost
step,
there.
yeah, measured.
Every step is measured.
It's usually running is, I don't know, these short runs in the middle of the day, I rarely enjoy while doing it. But because of that, like every single step, I'm like, okay, you got like 1/24th left of this run.
Yep.
We should.
At least you don't have to think about it.
No, it's nice, and especially I used to run without a watch, and I truly did have to keep track
Yep.
of what I was doing. Now, you can let your mind wander more. All right. Oh, okay, so we turn at the mailbox,
Okay.
but we have to run back to the driveway
To the driveway.
to get the 5K in.
To the driveway.
That's right. and then we can see the goats.
Yay! Woo. Awesome job.
Oh,
All right,
how's your arm?
it's tired.
Yeah.
If you didn't notice me like grabbing onto
Oh, I can't
left
imagine.
hand. And I'm left-handed, so my left arm is stronger.
Do you want to go to the goats?
Yeah, let's go to the goats.
All right.
All right, I do want to ask you
Yeah.
another question though.
Yeah, sure.
Who should I run with next?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to say Dale, also from GRC. I feel like he may be the key to finally branching outside of GRC though, because he is a very interesting guy who knows a lot of people. That's my recommendation.
All right, Dale, it's on.
Come on, guys.
All right.
Hello.
Oh my goodness.
This is Nate, the light one. Jeff, the dark one. Jeff's the sweet one. Nate's the kind of jerk. That's all you're getting from me, guys. You can lick.
You hear that, Nathan?
It's you, buddy. And then there are chickens back there. Oh, here comes the little rooster. He hates me.
Hi. Hi.
If
You
we
are
wait
cute.
a second. Moe's out there. He's going to yell at me here.
This one with the white.
Yeah, yeah. Do it, Moe's. There it is. Yeah. So he doesn't do that for anybody but me. He likes the girls. He likes Annie. But anytime I'm out here, just nonstop. That's his crow.
Yeah.
Not too intimidating. Hi, buddy.
He just doesn't like you.
He really doesn't.